consciousness is not something that can be completely locked inside the brain. The brain is like a tool or a machine that processes information, stores memories, and helps us function in daily life. But consciousness is something much deeper, more subtle, and far more mysterious. It is the very light through which we experience life. The brain changes, cells die, thoughts change, memories fade, but there is something in us that witnesses all these changes without changing itself. That silent watcher, that sense of I am, which remains even when thoughts are not present, is consciousness. It is not limited by the physical body. When we look at a tree, the tree is outside, but the awareness of it arises inside. Yet that awareness has no boundary. When we go into deep silence, beyond thoughts, beyond language, something opens up inside which is vast and beyond explanation. Many times we feel this during meditation, when watching a sunset or listening to beautiful music. Time disappears, the sense of separation fades, and we feel one with everything. In those moments, we do not feel limited to the skin or the bones. There is a sense that consciousness may not be born from the brain, but is simply using the brain to express itself. Just like electricity flows through a bulb to produce light, but the electricity is not created by the bulb. In the same way, consciousness flows through the brain but may not be created by it. This is something that cannot be proved by science but can be felt in stillness. To understand the meaning of consciousness, we must look at how we live daily. Most people think they are conscious because they are awake, walking, talking, thinking, working, but that is not real consciousness. That is mechanical awareness. Real consciousness begins when we become aware of our own thoughts, reactions, and patterns. For example, if someone insults us and we immediately feel anger, that is unconscious reaction. But if we can see the anger arising, feel it, observe it without immediately reacting, then we are becoming conscious. Consciousness is the ability to observe our inner and outer world clearly without judgment, attachment, or identification. It is like a mirror that reflects everything as it is. When we develop this kind of awareness, life begins to change. We are no longer lost in the noise of the mind. We start seeing things with clarity. We understand why we behave the way we do, why others act the way they do, and how much of our life is driven by unconscious habits. True consciousness is not just thinking about life. It is being present in each moment without trying to control or escape it. It is the stillness behind the mind. When you are watching your breath, feeling your body from within, or simply listening to the wind, and there is no inner commentary, that is consciousness in its pure form. It is not a thought. It is not a memory. It is not an image. It is a state of pure seeing, pure being. Now, the subconscious mind is a huge part of this whole inner reality. While the conscious mind is what we use to make daily decisions, the subconscious is like the background energy that influences us quietly. It stores every experience, every fear, every suppressed desire, every belief we picked up in childhood, and even the feelings we were not ready to face. Most of our actions are shaped by this subconscious content. For example, someone may have stage fear and not know why. But deep inside their subconscious mind, there might be a memory from childhood where they were laughed at while speaking in public. They may not remember it consciously, but the subconscious remembers, and it triggers fear in similar situations. Similarly, someone may always seek approval from others without knowing that, deep down, they feel unworthy because of past emotional neglect. So we must understand that unless we become conscious of our subconscious, we will keep living a life of repetition, driven by hidden fears and old programs. The subconscious is powerful, and it can either keep us stuck or help us grow, depending on how aware we become of it. To explore the subconscious mind deeply, we must start observing our behaviors, habits, and emotional reactions. Every time we overreact, feel triggered, or repeat the same mistake, it is a doorway into the subconscious. For example, if someone always feels jealous in relationships, instead of blaming the partner, They should look inside and ask, what insecurity is creating this jealousy? Where did it come from? What belief am I carrying about myself? This kind of inner inquiry brings light into the dark corners of the subconscious. Meditation, silence, and honest observation help us understand the hidden motivations behind our actions. Over time, with enough observation, the grip of the subconscious begins to loosen. The mind becomes lighter, clearer, more creative. We begin to respond rather than react. We find new energy within us because old fears and hidden tensions start dissolving. When the subconscious is not burdened with old wounds, it becomes a powerful ally. It can give rise to intuition, deep insight, creativity, and even healing. Many people have spontaneous clarity about life when they are silent because the subconscious is no longer blocked. It begins to cooperate with consciousness. But this harmony only happens when we stop running from ourselves and start looking deeply. In daily life, this means we become more present. When we talk to someone, we are not distracted. When we eat, we taste the food fully. When we walk, we feel our steps. When we get angry, we watch it instead of acting on it. This simple act of awareness transforms everything. Consciousness brings intelligence. It is not book knowledge, but a deep understanding of life as it is. When consciousness touches the subconscious, the whole personality begins to change. Old fears fall away, addictions lose their grip, relationships become more real, more open. There is less drama, more peace. Work becomes creative rather than stressful. Even the body starts healing because stress and tension come mostly from suppressed emotions. So the journey from unconsciousness to consciousness is not a spiritual idea. It is a practical transformation. It is about living a life that is awake, peaceful, and real. Many people search for peace, joy, or success outside. They try to change their surroundings, their jobs, their partners, their cities, but unless we change what is inside us, nothing truly changes. The outside is just a reflection of the inside. If the mind is full of conflict, even the most beautiful place will feel dull. But if the mind is clear and conscious, even a simple life feels rich. Consciousness is the real treasure. It is not something that is given to a few. It is in everyone, but most people do not look for it because they are too busy thinking. The mind keeps moving from past to future, regret to hope, fear to desire, never allowing us to just be. But when we stop, when we pause and look inside, we find a silent space within where everything is still, everything is clear, and that is where true consciousness lives. Consciousness is not inside or outside, it is everywhere and nowhere. It is not bound by time or place. It is present even when we are not thinking. It is not created by the brain. It shines through the brain like light through a window. The window may get dusty, but the light is always pure. Our job is to clean the window, to become aware, to observe, to be honest with ourselves, to sit with our emotions, to question our beliefs, to be present in our relationships, to listen deeply, to work with love, and to live with attention. When we live like this, the subconscious mind becomes a source of wisdom, and consciousness becomes the very flame that lights our way through life.